Okay, so this is part 3. Let's talk about changing the colors of the nodes. So you might want to change the colors of the vertices. For example, if it's the party invitation graph, you can color the vertices that represent men and with blue and women with pink. So once you type in the edges, then this tab over here is automatically filled with the vertices. So the vertices are going to be all the different people here. So as long as there's a person's name here, there's going to be a vertice there. So if you click on the vertices, you'll see the vertices here. And one of these columns is the color column, and you can type in the colors into that space. So let's try that. So now I've put in pink for women and blue for men, and now hopefully when I refresh it, okay, we get that. So that you can use the color to show some particular characteristic of the vertice. Right? It might be their gender in this case, or it might be something else. Maybe it's the school that they go to, or whether they're in APU or APM. Right? You could do anything. And you can also use others like this. When you make a web page, you have the CSS color names, but you can also use the RGB codes to indicate the color and so on. But we're just typing in pink and blue here. And there might be lots of other characteristics that you want to add besides just the people's names. So Anne, Bob, Carol, Dave, and so on. You might want to have, there may be lots of other data about those people, and you might want to enter that into this spreadsheet, and you can do that over here. It says add your own columns here, so to the right of that you can start adding in your own columns. So I added in two. One was called age and the other was called prior parties. Actually, these are not supposed to be here. I think I should be able to delete that. But age and prior parties, so this is their age, and this was how many parties they went to previously. So you might want to have that data in here, and then maybe we'll be able to use it or show it somehow as well. And I'm going to go back and make this directed graph. Let's say this represents who invited who to a party. So then it's directed. Then I have to refresh it again. So we have this graph now. Now when you type in age or prior parties, actually these are set by default to be, let's try another one. Let's try number of hours slept. I'll just call it hours. So it's like the number of hours that people sleep per night, something like that. So if I type in 8 here, and 7 here, and 7 here, and 7 here, and 8 here, 9, 7, and 6. Okay, now these are formatted now as text, not as numbers. And generally, if you have numbers, you want them to be formatted as numbers. So how do you do that? You can go to here, and I think you can right-click on them, and can we format the cells like this somehow? Test. So we can format the cells like that and go to number, no decimal places, and OK. That didn't work, did it? No, maybe you have to, I don't know why that didn't work, but you can do it this way also. Go to here, and then you click this little exclamation mark here and convert to number, like that. Now it's these are numbers. Okay, so these were already, I did that already for these. But if you have numerical data, you probably don't want it to be treated as text. Now, besides the color, you might also want to have the size of the vertex represent something. So the color might represent their gender, and we might, for example, want the age to be the size. But actually, let's see, I'm not exactly sure how to do that, but what you can do is, in the size, if you take the pointer, I can't do it here when I'm recording for some reason, but if you click on that, you can see, if you just hover over this, you can see that the size should only be between 1 and 10. And you can just type in for size here. So actually, I'm not sure how to put the age in there right now, but we'll see that later. But you can just see that if you change this one, this is Anne. So if I change Anne to like 8 and enter, and where's Anne? Here's Anne. Now if I refresh this, it's much bigger, right? Much bigger than the other ones, because 8 is much bigger than these other numbers. Let's bring it back down to a kind of normal size. Let's change it back to 3, and then refresh it. Okay, so it looks like that. So for example, suppose I wanted the size to be the prior parties. So what was it? Let's look at some of this. So some of the people were 3, some of the people were 4, some of the people were 5. So for example, Ed has been to 5 prior parties. So we might want Ed to be the largest dot. So how can we do that? Besides just copying and pasting that over to the size, we can also use something called the autofill columns. So let's try using that. So you can see up here there's a bunch of buttons, and one of them is the autofill columns. If I click on that, it brings up this, like that. And so I have the vertex size comes from the prior parties. I could have it come from the age, but I could have it come from the prior parties. And if I click here, autofill, hopefully that has reflected the age. Oh, I'm sorry, the vertex size is reflecting the prior parties. Actually, now I have the vertex color reflecting the age. I actually didn't want to do that. Let me see if I can undo that. I'm going up here, and no, I can't do it. Can't undo it. So all that typing I did with the pink and the blue has been lost, unfortunately. Okay, anyway, go back to this again. And so let's say, can we change the vertex color to, well, I don't know, I lost it, it's too bad. Okay, let me, okay, now you can, what I just did was, I clicked over here on the vertex color, and I clicked reset vertex color, source column name. So that made it blank here. So now I'll click autofill, and it's set as blank. Now I can go back, have to go back and type in the colors again, unfortunately. There's this. So now I've retyped those, and if I refresh, it goes back to that. Now let's see what happens if I go back to here. And I click on autofill. Does it mess everything up? No. It stays like that. Okay, that's good. So when you might want to clear that like I cleared it, so that it doesn't mess everything up when you autofill.